Hey, welcome Broken World Entertainment and our review for episode 7 of Ahsoka. Does this episode move the story forward? Do we get tons of Tron? Do we get tons of Ezra? What happens? Well, this is the episode where they went, let's just dump all the action into this episode. This is the penultimate episode. The story hasn't moved forward. We've learned nothing about people's plans, i.e. Thrawn's plans with all this cargo he's putting on board this ship, or what Balin's actual motives are. All we get is action, 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 and more action. And the issue is, it's boring action. It looks good. Don't get me wrong, the visuals this time look alright. Not when the people are riding on the weird space doggy things. That looks dodgy as shit. But the space battles look fine. I don't know why Ahsoka and her ship need to run from those weird little World War II looking starfighters from the space donut, because as we've seen before, they don't damage the ship at all. So the episode opens on Coruscant. Hera is in front of a tribunal basically to oust her from being the general for disobeying orders, and that one Asian dude is going nuts, and no matter what she says or does, he's all no, this is against all this and you went against orders and blah blah blah, and he's about to call the vote basically to oust her. He thinks she should be punished, and you hear a voice. Who's that voice? Well, it's a cameo, isn't it? Because it's none other than C-3PO. That's right. C-3PO is in this episode for all of 40 seconds. Who comes in with a message supposedly from Leia. Senator Leia. That's right. She's a senator, apparently. That says Hera's mission to whatever the name of the planet is. I don't care. And I don't think any of you care either. That she greenlit the mission, and it was under strict orders not to tell anyone else. And they're all like, hey, Hera's fine, I guess the trial is closed, blah blah blah. And then we just go to Ahsoka training, and we get another cameo via hologram, this time for a few, in like a minute or something, of Anakin. Clone Wars Anakin. He's the shorter hair, he's in the Clone Wars uniform, but it's just a hologram, so it's nothing meaningful. It's literally him walking in circles telling her how to train while she's training as slowly as possible. I mean, good Christ, who is she planning to fight at that speed? Like, fuck me. Even her training is slow. And I think they learned their lesson, because later on when she has saber battles, they're very short. They keep cutting away from them, and you don't really see much. But she's training, you get that. Hu Wang comes in and says, oh yeah, I think the whales are reaching their destination because they're slowing down. They drop out of hyperspace. They're kind of shaking. They're like, something's going on. You kind of notice orangey flashes their course under attack. They fly out of the whale's mouth, and they're in an Imperial minefield. You know, the thing I spoke about last week. Why don't they just set up a whole armada or minefield for the big fucking space donut to just fly right into and be destroyed? Oh no, Tron's coming back. What will we do? I know, let's just set shit up to blow him out of the skies when he arrives. Because that's what they've done. It's a dumbass moment, because the mines get activated and fly towards the whales. They're not really injuring the whales. None of the mines seem to turn on. They seem to be proximity mines. None of them seem to be turning on for the ship flying in. And all the whales, Hu Wang's like, hey, at least we've the whales for cover, and the whales all just fuck off. They just go into hyperspace and leave them. And we do get Thrawn. He comes in and is like, yeah, there they are. Send the fighters to get them. So they get under attack. We go to, and to try and avoid those fighters, they take the ship down into the debris field. The debris field, by the way, is the remains of the dead whales. And it's so dense that they can't make it through all the way. Which is ironic because all the little tiny starfighters can't make it through and they're crashing and blowing up and everything else. Yet these fuckers in this giant ship, which is Ahsoka's ship, is flying through with no problems, not hitting anything. So stupid. Ezra, we go down to Ezra and Sabine, who, by the way, she still hasn't told him how the hell she got there. So, and they are setting up the Disney trilogy. How do they do that? Because Ezra's having the conversation with him and he's like, so let me get this right. The Empire was defeated. Sabine says, yeah, Battle of Andor. She goes, and the Emperor is dead. Her response to that question is, so some people say. That's right, so they say. Because somehow the Emperor returned. They're moving in these little tank looking things. I don't know what they are. Those little fucking Ninja Turtles. Whatever those things are. It seems to be their houses are also vehicles that go about 2 miles per hour. So much so that Shin and Balin arrive up on a ridge and are looking at them driving off. It's like, wow. These guys look like they've been driving for days and like they're literally 20 meters from where they were in the last episode. So stupid. We go back to Ahsoka and whatnot. They're flying in, they're trying to evade. Then we're back down with Thrawn and whatnot, and he tells them call off the starfighters. Morgan gives them information on Ahsoka and he's all shocked. He's like, her master was Anakin Skywalker. And they're like, yeah, and he goes, call off the things. She's going to be unpredictable like he is. And all this. It's clearly he's shocked that it's Anakin because he obviously is like, oh my god, it's Darth Vader. How does he know it's Darth Vader? No one knew Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader in the Empire. None of these generals were all sitting there staring at Vader going, hey, you know this dude used to be Anakin Skywalker. They only knew him as Vader. They knew something happened to him, you know. Every now and again, one of them might get a glimpse of his head and kind of go, oh, what the fuck? But they didn't know. That's where the whole thing with Reva was really stupid and annoying. But anyway, whatever. He calls off the thing and he's like, oh, we can get one step in front of her and make her go where she thinks she wants to go and blah, blah, blah. By the way, how does Ahsoka try and evade the ships? They did a Star Wars. They turned off all the power and stuck themselves to one of the bones. So they're there, her and Hu Wang. He's like, I can't get any trace on Sabine, so it's either our scanners are being blocked or there's too much debris in here. Do you want me to try again? She goes, no, there's another way. And she just closes her eyes and starts saying Sabine over and over. And then Sabine hears it and responds going, Ahsoka? And then Ahsoka's, I know where he is. While that's happening, Thrawn gets the 3 sisters in, gets them to play with their little balls, because that's all these women want to do is play with balls apparently, to use their powers to find and spot Ahsoka in the debris field. They do. They launch an attack on that, and they obviously fly out and head towards Sabine. At this moment, we have Sabine and, what's his name, Ezra. Kind of, he's like, hey, what was that? And he goes, I thought I felt something and blah, blah, blah. And then they stop and he's, are they friends of yours? And somehow Balin and Shin are directly down in front of them. So they go to turn and head in a different direction. And we come up to Balin and Shin. And he's like, right, call in to Grand Admiral Thrawn Ezra Bridger's location. Send in the other people, those weird guys in the red suits that Sabine fought with last episode. And then take your place in the new empire. And she's like, huh? And realizes, oh, he's not coming. This is it. He's going his other way. And he says a bit of shit to her. Oh, remember this in your training, blah, blah, blah. And off she fucks and phones it in, basically. Thrawn then says, okay, send 2 troop carriers. So they go in. So those dudes in the red armors start firing on Sabine and all the little tank things that all of a sudden go like fucking 50 miles per hour. These things are pissing it down the fucking road with these, well, I don't know what they are, mercenaries chasing them, they're shooting a bunch of them. One of the mercenary dudes disables one of those little tank things. Ezra's like, yeah, we can't leave him behind. They all circle around that ship and they land, and they've got little shield things that kind of like metal shield things that drop over. They get out. Shin is walking up on the dog. Ezra's like, friend of yours, and she's like, he says, is this friend of yours, and she's like you but without the sense of humor. And when they start having their fight, like they're fighting all these others, Sabine tries to hand Ezra his lightsaber, and he goes, no, I'm good, you keep it. And she's like, no, it's yours. And he's like, no, I gave it to you, I don't need it, you keep it. She's like, fine, here, at least take a blaster. And he's like, no, I don't need blasters, all I need is the Force. So Shin attacks them, or no, sorry, the others are attacking. Ezra is around in an area, and all of a sudden Shin almost takes his head off and cuts a bit of his hair off. Then it's basically Shin, Ezra and Sabine are fighting. So 2 of them are now trying to take on Shin. Before those actually have their fight, Sabine is shooting and using the lightsaber and all the other twats, and Ezra is just force pushing them everywhere and hitting them. By the way, Sabine gets hit in the back of the head again this episode, and it doesn't fucking faze her. It happened last week, and so stupid. Ahsoka all of a sudden is in the skies right above them, being chased, and somehow no one on the ground noticed the ships up in the sky shooting at each other. Ahsoka's like, I gotta get down there. So she jumps out of the ship, lands, and who's right in front of her? Like, her plan is, I'll jump out, you take the ships off, distract them. She jumps out, does a little stop and roll type thing, and then Balin's right in front of her. They start having a fight, and she's like, I don't have time for this. And he goes, yeah, whatever. Right as they lock lightsabers, cuts and goes to other ship. Shin is now fighting Sabine and Ezra. The 2 of them can't take her out. He goes to run at her. She just force pushes him against, knocks him the fuck out, and then continues to have a lightsaber battle with Sabine. I'm just like, this isn't one of the PlayStation video games. You don't have to wait for your Force to charge back up. Just use the Force on her. Why do you keep lightsaber battles with this person you could easily kill? God Christ. So it's jumping back and forth from their fight with, and what's his head, Balin and Ahsoka, and she's kind of getting the better of him this time, but he still has the power to kind of force her back and stuff. And he basically says, you can't win. She goes, she sees her ship coming in behind him with the little starfighters, and she just goes, I don't have to win, and jumps out of the way, and her ship just launches all these little rocket type things to just blow up around him. And then as he comes out of the smoke, he reignites his lightsaber and sees her fucking off on one of the space doggies. And I'm like, how did Hugh Wang know to fire on them She never said anything about it. She was never even expecting to land in front of Balin. How did they know that? Writing, huh? These people want more money. Ridiculous. As Shin's starting to kind of get pushed back by Ezra and Sabine, because he wakes back up. And these stupid little retard fucking turtle things keep opening their windows and talking to Ezra constantly like, yeah, just stay in there, will you? They're like, well, you're kind of outnumbered. You better surrender and stuff. And then the dropships come in and all the stormtroopers, the death troopers that everyone was saying the reason they seem to be called that, which is on the captions if you have a look, is because they're probably the army of the undead. Well, that seems to be out the window because these guys get taken out and they don't get back up. How can you die again? But right as they're there, they're like, alright, they're surrounded and they're kind of going. Shin goes, destroy them. As they raise their guns, Ezra's like, no, hang on, maybe we can talk about this. Or you could take us as prisoners. Maybe we go as prisoners. And she tells them to fire, and all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 of them go force pushed across, and they're like, and here comes Ahsoka. They all start fighting. Shin can't beat Ahsoka with no weapons. Ahsoka has no lightsabers out or anything, and she's just blocking with her arms. Shin trying to hit her with the lightsaber. We see, go back to Thrawn. They're looking at a map and they see all the little dots turning red to say they're losing so many troops, and Morgan's like, we're kind of losing this, and he notices that, hey, we're missing one of the mercenaries. Oh, it's Lord Balin, where's he? Realizes he didn't go down. By the way, when Balin saw Ahsoka ride off on the space doggy, he just fucks off. He turns and walks off in a completely different direction. So, and that's what I'm talking about. So frustrating what these people's motives are. Like, he says he has a higher purpose and all this shit, and he's just like wandering off and he's not telling you anything. Then we get the next part of that thing that's frustrating, because Thrawn is like, right, call back the fleet and call back the attack and blah blah blah. And they're like, why would we do that? Like, we have them there, but like, we're losing people. And he goes, yeah, but Ahsoka can't win the one thing she thinks she has, time. And she's like, I see us losing. And like Morgan says, I see us losing. He goes, you know what I see? And he turns on a different hologram of the cargo being put on ship. We don't know what this cargo is. We have no idea. Is it bodies? Is it something else? We don't know. Maybe that's the undead. Don't know. But he's like 5 or 6 more of the things to put on by the looks of it before they're going to leave. Which there's still no explanation how they're going to leave with the Star Destroyer when the big donut is the only thing that has that hyperspace. But they all get called back. They all fuck off. Shin's left on her lonesomes, standing there before Ezra, Ahsoka, and Sabine. Ahsoka tells her to drop her weapon, that she could help her. And she just turns around and runs off, jumps on one of the space doggies and runs off. And Ahsoka looks at Sabine. Sabine goes, I thought you were dead. And Ahsoka goes, what? I missed this reunion? And has a big hug with Ezra. And Ezra's like, you thought she was dead? And she goes, it's complicated, whatever. And boom, that's the end of the episode. It was dog shit. Like every other episode's been so far. Didn't move the story forward. We don't know, still don't know what's in the crates being put on the Star Destroyer. Still don't know why Balin is seemingly going off in his lonesome and what his other calling is. Don't know how any of them plan to get back. Still can't figure out why in the name of hell Sabine hasn't told Ezra how the hell she even got there. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And why in the name of all that's holy did fucking Thrawn ever allow Ezra and Sabine to join back up? Yeah, they're trying to make it look like, oh, he's playing 4D chess, look how well maneuvered he is. And it's like, no, it's retarded. It's like, well, we know where Ezra Bridger is because he's literally right over there. It's like, not like you can't fucking see him from the Star Destroyer. We could easily just nuke the whole goddamn planet if we wanted to from orbit, or just leave him here because he'll be stranded. But they had Sabine dead to rights, and now they've just let the three of them rejoin back up. My Christ, so stupid. But anyway, that'll be it for this episode, thankfully. And thank Christ this show ends next week, because it's dog shit. Really is. Anyway, with that, I'll leave it there for this one. So cheers, and catch you in the next one.